Let us begin by understanding what the law of assumption truly is. Many of you may think of it as some mystical force separate from your daily life. But I tell you now, the law of assumption is not separate from you. It is you. It is the very essence of your being, the creative power that shapes your entire reality. Imagine, if you will, that your current reality is like a garment you wear. It may feel comfortable, familiar, even inevitable. But I assure you it is no more permanent or real than the clothes on your back. You can change it just as easily as you change your attire. The secret lies in your assumption. Now you might be wondering, Wayne, how can I ignore reality? Isn't that just denial? And therein lies the crux of our discussion today. You see, what you call reality is not fixed or absolute. It is a reflection, a shadow cast by your assumptions. When you change your assumptions, you change the very fabric of your reality. This is where the concept of ignoring reality comes into play. But let me be clear. We are not talking about burying your head in the sand or denying the existence of your current circumstances. Rather, we are talking about shifting your attention, your belief, your assumption to that which you desire to be true. Let us delve deeper into this concept. Your world, your experience of life is not happening to you. It is happening from you. Every circumstance, every event, every interaction in your life is a reflection of your inner assumptions. These assumptions are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And just as a seed grows into a plant, your assumptions grow into your experienced reality. This is why many people find themselves stuck in patterns of lack, of struggle, of not enoughness. They have unknowingly been planting these seeds in their subconscious mind through years of repetitive thoughts and feelings of limitation. But here's the liberating truth. You have the power to choose what seeds you plant. You have the ability to consciously assume the state of being super rich, regardless of your current bank balance. This, my friends, is the key to ignoring reality and becoming super rich through the law of assumption. So how do we begin this process of assuming a new state of wealth and abundance? The first step is to clearly define what being super rich means to you. Be specific. Don't simply say, I want a lot of money. Instead, imagine in vivid detail what your life's like as a super rich person. How do you feel? What are you doing? How do you spend your time? The more specific and detailed your vision, the more clearly you communicate with your subconscious mind. Once you have this clear vision, the next step is to assume the feeling of being super rich. This is crucial. You must feel the reality of being wealthy now, not in some distant future. Remember, your subconscious mind doesn't understand time. It only understands the present moment. So if you constantly feel that wealth is something in the future, it will always remain in the future. Instead, assume the feeling of wealth now. How would you feel if you were already super rich? Would you feel secure, confident, generous, free? Embody these feelings, live from this state of being. This is not pretending or lying to yourself. This is assuming a new state of consciousness, which is the very essence of the law of assumption. Now some of you may be thinking, but Wayne, how can I feel wealthy when my bank account is empty? This is where the art of ignoring reality comes into play. You must learn to give more attention, more importance, more reality to your desired state than to your current circumstances. This doesn't mean you deny the existence of your current bank balance. Rather, you acknowledge it briefly, then immediately return your attention to the feeling of wealth. You say to yourself, yes, this is my current situation, but it is not my permanent reality. I am now embodying the state of a wealthy person. I am now feeling the feelings of abundance and financial freedom. This process of assuming a new state while ignoring the contradictory evidence of your senses is not always easy. It requires practice, persistence, and most importantly, faith. But remember, the reality you see around you is nothing more than the outpicturing of past assumptions. As you persist in your new assumption of wealth, your outer world must reshape itself to match this new inner conviction. Let us now explore the practical application of this principle. How do you maintain the assumption of wealth in your daily life? It begins with your thoughts and your inner conversations. Pay attention to how you think and talk about money. You constantly worry about bills. You feel anxiety when you think about your finances. These thoughts and feelings are assumptions of lack, and they would perpetuate a reality of financial struggle. Instead, consciously choose thoughts and inner conversations that align with your assumption of wealth. When a bill arrives, instead of feeling stress, feel gratitude for the ability to pay it easily. When you make a purchase, instead of worrying about the cost, feel the joy of being able to afford what you desire. These may seem like small shifts, but they are powerful assumptions that would begin to reshape your financial reality. Your words, too, are crucial in this process. The words you speak are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of the universe. Be mindful of the language you use around money. Eliminate phrases like, "I can't afford it," or "money doesn't grow on trees." Instead, use empowering statements like, "I always have more than enough," or "money comes to me easily and frequently." Remember, these are not mere affirmations or positive thinking techniques. They are assumption states of being that you are choosing to embody. Speak them with conviction, feeling the truth of them in your very being. Now let us address a crucial aspect of becoming super rich through the law of assumption, your self-concept. Your self-concept is the sum total of all your beliefs about who you are. And this self-concept is perhaps the most powerful assumption you hold. Many people struggle to manifest wealth because their self-concept contradicts the state of being wealthy. They may visualize having money, but deep down, they don't believe they are the kind of person who can be rich. They may have limiting beliefs like rich people are greedy, or money is the root of all evil, or I'm not smart enough to be wealthy. To truly embody the state of being super rich, you must be willing to revise your self-concept. You must be willing to see yourself as someone who is naturally wealthy, who easily attracts abundance, who deserves financial success. This is not about creating a false image of yourself, but about recognizing and embracing your true, limitless nature. You see, at your core, you are pure consciousness. You are not defined by your past experiences, your current bank balance, or the opinions of others about wealth. You are the awareness in which all these things appear. And this awareness, your true self, is infinite in its potential, including its potential for wealth. When you truly grasp this truth, when you begin to identify with your essential nature, rather than your temporary financial circumstances, you open yourself to limitless abundance. Your subconscious mind, no longer constrained by limiting beliefs about wealth, becomes free to manifest the financial reality you choose to assume. So how do you revise your self-concept to align with being super rich? The process is similar to assuming any new state of being. You must vividly imagine yourself as a wealthy person. Feel what it's like to be that person. How do they think about money? How do they make financial decisions? How do they carry themselves? But remember, this is not about creating a caricature of a rich person based on societal stereotypes. It's about recognizing and embracing your own unique expression of wealth. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming more fully yourself, a self that is naturally abundant and financially free. As you persistently imagine and feel yourself as this wealthy version of you, your subconscious mind will begin to accept this as your new reality. And as your subconscious accepts it, you will naturally begin to think, feel, and act in alignment with this new wealthy self-concept. Now let us address another powerful tool in assuming the state of being super rich, the use of I am statements. The words I am are incredibly potent. They are, in essence, your definition of yourself. What follows I am is impressed upon your subconscious mind as a truth about your identity. Many people unconsciously use I am statements in ways that perpetuate financial lack. I am broke. I am bad with money. I am always in debt. Each time you make such a statement, you are programming your subconscious mind to create more of that experience. To assume the state of being super rich, you must become acutely aware of your I am statements and consciously choose ones that align with wealth and abundance. I am wealthy. I am a money magnet. I am financially free. I am abundantly provided for in all ways. But remember, it's not just about the words. You must feel the truth of these statements as you say them. Your subconscious mind responds to feeling, not just to words. So when you say, I am wealthy, feel the security, the freedom, the joy of being wealthy. When you say, I am a money magnet, feel the excitement of money constantly flowing into your life. As you consistently use I am statements in this way, you are literally reprogramming your subconscious mind. You are impressing upon it a new concept of who you are in relation to wealth, and your subconscious mind will work tirelessly to make this new self-concept your reality. Now let us explore another powerful technique for assuming the state of being super rich, the practice of living in the end. This involves mentally dwelling in a state of your wish fulfilled, living as if you are already super rich. To practice living in the end, you must create a mental scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire for wealth. This scene should be one that would naturally occur if you were already super rich. Perhaps it's the feeling of making a large donation to a cause you care about, or the joy of buying your dream home without concern for the cost, or the satisfaction of seeing a large balance in your bank account. Create this scene in your imagination with as much detail as possible. See it clearly. Hear the sounds associated with it. Feel the emotions you would feel. Then enter into this scene in your imagination. Don't just watch it as a spectator, but experience it from the first-person perspective. Be there in that moment, feeling the reality of being super rich. Now here's the crucial part. You must return to this scene repeatedly, dwell in it. Make it more real to you than your current financial circumstances. The more you live in this imaginal scene, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. And remember, your subconscious doesn't distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you physically experience. As you persist in living in the end, you may notice changes in your outer world. Opportunities for financial growth may appear. Your relationship with money may begin to shift. You may find yourself making different financial decisions. These are all signs that your new assumption is taking root, reshaping your reality to match your inner conviction of wealth. But here's a word of caution. Do not look for signs. Do not try to figure out how your assumption of wealth will manifest. Your job is simply to assume the state of being wealthy, to live from that state in your imagination. The how, the when, the where of its manifestation is not your concern. That belongs to the infinite intelligence of the universe. Now let us address a crucial aspect of assuming the state of being super rich, the role of action. Some people mistakenly believe that the law of assumption means they can simply imagine being wealthy and then sit back and wait for money to magically appear. This is not the case. The law of assumption does not negate action, it informs action. When you truly assume the state of being wealthy, you will naturally be inspired to take actions that align with that state. You may feel compelled to start a business, to invest in certain opportunities, to learn about wealth management. These inspired actions flow naturally from your assumed state. The key difference is that these actions are not driven by fear, lack, or the need to make money. They are expressions of your assumed state of wealth. You take these actions not to become rich, but because you are operating from the assumption that you are already rich. This is a subtle but crucial distinction. When you take action from a place of lack, trying to get money, you're actually affirming the assumption of not having enough. But when you take action from the assumption of already being wealthy, you open yourself to infinite possibilities for the expression and expansion of that wealth. So do not neglect action, but ensure that your actions are aligned with and flowing from your assumed state of wealth. Let your assumption guide your actions, rather than hoping your actions will create the assumption. Now let us discuss the importance of gratitude in assuming the state of being super rich. Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion, it is a powerful creative force. When you feel grateful, you are affirming that you already have what you desire. This aligns perfectly with the law of assumption. Begin to cultivate an attitude of gratitude for wealth and abundance, even before you see it manifested in your physical reality. Be thankful for the money you currently have, no matter how little it may seem. Be grateful for every opportunity to receive or spend money. Feel appreciation for the abundance that surrounds you in all forms, the air you breathe, the sun that shines, the food you eat. As you practice gratitude, you are assuming the state of someone who has plenty, someone who is abundantly provided for. This assumption, persistently held, must manifest in your outer world as increased financial abundance. Remember, the feeling of gratitude and the feeling of lack cannot coexist. By cultivating gratitude, you are effectively ignoring the abundance and the financial and assuming the state of wealth and abundance. Now let us address a common challenge in assuming the state of being super rich, dealing with contradictory evidence. As you begin to assume the state of wealth, you may find that your current financial circumstances seem to contradict your assumption. Bills may still need to be paid. Financial pressures may still exist. How do you maintain your assumption in the face of these seeming contradictions? This is where the art of ignoring reality comes into play. Remember, what you see in your outer world is the result of past assumptions. It's like an echo of what you once believed. Your task now is to give more attention, more importance, more reality to your new assumption of wealth than to these outdated circumstances. When contradictory evidence appears, acknowledge it briefly, then immediately return your attention to your assumption of wealth. Say to yourself, this is old condition passing away. It has no power over my new assumption. I am now super rich, abundantly provided for it always. This practice requires mental discipline. It requires you to stand firm in your new assumption, even when your senses argue against it. Remember, your senses only show you what has been, not what can be. Your imagination, informed by your assumption, shows you what will be. As you persist in your assumption of wealth, even in the face of contradictory evidence, you begin to see changes in your outer world. These changes may start small: an unexpected refund, a good deal on something you need, a new opportunity to increase your income. Do not dismiss these as coincidences. They are the first fruits of your new assumption taking root. Now let us explore the concept of detachment in relation to becoming super rich through the law of assumption. Detachment does not mean you don't care about becoming wealthy. Rather, it means you are not anxiously attached to the outcome or the process of becoming wealthy. When you are detached, you are secure in your assumption of wealth. You don't need constant outer confirmation because you know the truth of your assumption. You don't anxiously look for signs or try to force manifestations because you trust in the perfect unfolding of your assumption. Detachment allows you to enjoy the journey of wealth creation without stress or worry. It enables you to take inspired action without being desperate for results. It frees you from the fear of loss because you know that your true wealth comes from your consciousness, not from external circumstances. Dismiss detachment by reminding yourself that your assumption of wealth is the reality regardless of what your current bank balance might show. Trust that as you maintain your assumption, your outer world must conform to it. Be at peace knowing that your financial abundance is assured by the power of your assumption. Now let us address the role of persistence in assuming the state of being super rich. To be in a new state, especially one that seems far from your current experience, requires persistent effort. You must be willing to persist in your new assumption even when the outer world seems unchanged, even when doubts arise, even when others question your sanity. Remember, the reality you see around you is the fruit of seeds planted in the past. As you assume the state of being super rich, you are planting new seeds. These seeds need time to grow. Your persistence in maintaining your assumption is what waters these seeds and allows them to flourish. Do not be discouraged. You don't see immediate results. Do not waver in your assumption if your financial situation doesn't change overnight. Persistence is key. Return again and again to your assumption of wealth. Stay from that state consistently, persistently, faithfully. It's also important to persist through the doubts and fears that may arise as you assume a state of wealth that is vastly different from your current experience. Your old beliefs and fears may surface. This is natural. Acknowledge these doubts when they arise, but do not give them power. Instead, gently but firmly return to your assumption of wealth. Now, let us discuss the importance of feeling in assuming the state of being super rich. Feeling is the secret of creation. It's not enough to intellectually know that you are assuming a state of wealth. You must feel it. You must experience the emotion of being wealthy. What does wealth feel like to you? Is it a feeling of security, of freedom, of power to help others, of peace of mind? Whatever it is, you must capture that feeling and live in it. Make it your constant companion. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. Remember, your subconscious mind doesn't understand words as much as it understands feelings. When you consistently feel wealthy, you are sending a powerful message to your subconscious that this is your reality. And your subconscious, being the faithful servant it is, will work tirelessly to bring about circumstances that match this feeling. As you go through your day, constantly check in with your feelings. Are you feeling wealthy? If not, pause and recall the feeling of wealth. Immerse yourself in it. Let it permeate your being. This constant return to the feeling of wealth is crucial in maintaining your assumption. Now let us address a common pitfall in the journey of assuming wealth: the temptation to compare yourself with others. In today's world, with social media constantly showcasing the wealth and success of others, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. But remember, comparison is the thief of joy. And more importantly, it can undermine your assumption of wealth. When you compare yourself to others, you are implicitly assuming a state of lack. You are focusing on what you don't have rather than on the abundance you are assuming. This sends a conflicting message to your subconscious mind and can slow down or even reverse your progress. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on your own journey. Celebrate your own progress, no matter how small it may seem. Remember, you are not in competition with anyone else. Your journey to wealth is unique to you. Trust in your own assumption and in the perfect unfolding of your desires. Lastly, near the conclusion of our discussion, let us talk about the ultimate purpose of assuming the state of being super rich. While financial abundance is certainly enjoyable and can provide many opportunities, the true power of this practice lies in the freedom it provides. Freedom to be more fully yourself, to express your gifts, to contribute to the world in meaningful ways. As you assume the state of being super rich, you may find that your definition of wealth expands. You may discover that true wealth encompasses not just financial abundance, but also richness in relationships, in experiences, in personal growth, in the ability to make a positive impact on the world. Embrace this expanded definition of wealth. Let your assumption of being super rich infuse all areas of your life with abundance. Assume a state of richness in love, in health, in wisdom, in joy. For in doing so, you are assuming the state of your highest, most abundant self. In closing, my dear friends, remember this: you are not bound by your current financial reality. You are not limited by your past experiences with money. You are a divine, infinite being capable of assuming any state you choose. The state of being super rich is available to you right now in this very moment. Choose it, assume it, live from it. Ignore the contradictory evidence of your senses and persist in your assumption. For as you do, you are reshaping your entire world. You are stepping into the full power of your divine creativity. Go forth from here with this knowledge. Apply these principles in your daily life. Be aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your assumptions about wealth. Use your imagination consciously and deliberately to live in the end of being super rich. Persist in your assumption, even when the outer world seems to contradict it. And above all, have faith in the law, faith in the process, faith in your own divine nature as a creative being. For as you master the art of assumption, as you learn to ignore the limiting aspects of your current reality, you step into your true power as the author of your life story. Remember, the power to change your financial reality lies within you. It always has. You are not bound by economic conditions, by your background, or by your current bank balance. You are bound only by the limits of your imagination and your willingness to assume the state of being super rich. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding and watch as your world transforms around you, reflecting the newfound abundance you have assumed it to be. Thank you, and may your journey of conscious creation be filled with infinite abundance, joy, and the thrill of manifesting your wealthiest, most expansive self.
Have you ever noticed that when you truly understand something, when it clicks deep within your consciousness, your entire world shifts? Tonight, I want to share with you a profound truth that will transform how you experience reality itself. Right now, as you listen to these words, the universe is orchestrating events beyond your imagination. Forces are aligning, circumstances are shifting, and a wave of incredible manifestations is heading your way. But here's the crucial part. Most people miss these blessings because they're looking in the wrong direction and are failing to imagine the magnetism. You see, the universe doesn't repay, you based on what you do. It repays you based on who you are being in your consciousness. This is the secret that changes everything. When you grasp this truth, you'll understand why some people seem to effortlessly attract their desires, while others struggle endlessly. Think about this. Every moment of your life, you're broadcasting a signal to the universe through your consciousness. This signal isn't your words, your actions, or even your thoughts. It's your state of being. It's the feeling you carry within you. Most people spend their entire lives trying to manipulate external circumstances, never realizing that the external is merely a reflection of their internal state. They chase success, love, wealth, always reaching, always striving, never understanding that these things aren't to be pursued, but to be assumed. Let me share something profound with you. The universe isn't separate from you. It is you extended. Every person, every circumstance, every event in your life is yourself pushed out. When you truly understand this, you'll realize why the universe must repay you, because it's simply responding to what you're being. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to position yourself to receive these universal repayments. But first, you must understand that this isn't about doing more. It's about being more. It's about expanding your consciousness to embrace the reality you desire. The secret to feeling truly alive lies not in what you accumulate or achieve, but in your capacity to feel the reality of your desires. Now, most people live in a state of emotional numbness, going through the motions of life without ever experiencing its full vibrancy. Consider this. When was the last time you felt absolutely, unshackably alive? When every state in your body vibrated with the energy of pure being, that state isn't something to be found. It's something to be claimed through your consciousness. Mirror your kingdom. Mirror your power. Mirror your glory. Mirror your glory. Mirror your life. This is a quote from the style in the book. You see, at this very moment, you're experiencing only a tiny fraction of what life has to offer. You've constructed walls in your consciousness, limitations that seem real, but exist only because you've accepted them as truth. These walls weren't built by the universe. They were built by your assumptions. You saw this wall that you drew as a way of protecting and closing yourself in. Let me share a principle that will revolutionize your understanding. Every sensation you've ever experienced, every emotion you've ever felt exists within your consciousness. You don't need external circumstances to feel alive. You need only to awaken to the aliveness that already exists within you. Find that space, that inner presence, that inner awareness, that inner understanding. Most people wait for something external to make them feel alive. They wait for the perfect relationship, the ideal job, the dream house, but I tell you this, waiting is the very thing that keeps you from experiencing the fullness of life. The universe responds not to your wanting, but to your being. When you feel truly alive, when you embody the state of vibrant, pulsing life force, the universe must, by law, reflect that state back to you in countless unexpected ways. Everyone, toast around. You were here once. Now you're begging for another chance to come back. Think about this. Every moment of intense aliveness you've ever experienced was created not by external circumstances, but by your consciousness. Those moments when you felt invincible, when you felt connected to everything, those weren't given to you by the world. They were created by your assumption of that state. The key to constant renewal, to feeling perpetually alive, lies in understanding that consciousness is the only reality. Whatever you feel to be true, whatever state you occupy in consciousness, must be reflected in your external world. What most people don't realize is that feeling alive isn't something that happens to you. Your consciousness is the gateway through which all experiences flow. When you change your consciousness, you change the entire spectrum of your experiences. Consider the vastness of the universe for a moment. Billions of galaxies, infinite possibilities, all existing simultaneously. Yet you experience only what you accept as possible in your consciousness. Your current experience of life is merely one tiny channel on an infinite broadcast spectrum. The universe is constantly trying to repay you with experiences that match your highest vision. But here's the crucial point. You must tune your consciousness to receive these experiences. Just as a radio can only receive the frequencies it's tuned to, your consciousness can only experience what it's aligned with. Most people live their entire lives never adjusting their frequency. They stay tuned to the same channel of limited experiences, never realizing they have access to the entire spectrum of existence. They feel stuck, stagnant, barely alive, when infinite vitality is available to them. Let me show something profound about the nature of feeling alive. When you truly feel alive, you're not just experiencing life, you're creating it. Every moment of genuine aliveness is a moment of pure creation. In those moments, you're not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are that force individualized. But here's where most people miss the mark. They try to feel alive through external stimulation. They chase experiences, relationships, achievements, never realizing that these things can't make them feel alive. They can only reflect the aliveness that already exists within their consciousness. The universe is waiting to repay you with experiences that will take your breath away. But it can only give you what you're prepared to receive in consciousness. If you're operating from a state of emotional deadness, of limited expectations, that's exactly what will be reflected back to you. Think about the times when you felt most alive. In those moments, you weren't trying to feel alive. You simply were alive. You weren't reaching for something outside yourself. You were fully present in your own being. That's the state from which miracles flow. The secret that most people miss is that the universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. If you're constantly living in a state of wanting to feel alive, you're actually affirming your current state of not feeling alive. This is why so many people remain stuck despite their best efforts. Let me share with you a profound truth about consciousness. Your consciousness is not confined to your physical body. It extends to everything you're aware of. When you feel truly alive, that aliveness permeates your entire world. Everything you touch, everyone you interact with, must reflect that state back to you. Most people don't realize that they are constantly creating their reality through their state of consciousness. Every moment, every interaction, every experience is shaped by the state you're occupying. If you're operating from a state of limited aliveness, your experiences will reflect that limitation. Consider this. The universe is not a random collection of events and circumstances. It's a perfect mirror reflecting back to you your own consciousness. When you understand this, you'll realize why some people seem to live charmed lives while others struggle continuously. The key to receiving unexpected blessings from the universe lies in expanding your consciousness to embrace more life. Not just theoretically, but actually feeling more alive in your day-to-day existence. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about positive being. Most people live in a state of emotional contraction. They've learned to suppress their natural vitality, to dim their light, to exist rather than truly live. But I tell you this, that contracted state is not natural. Your natural state is one of expanding aliveness. Think about a time when you felt absolutely unstoppable. In that moment, you weren't doing anything special. You were simply being in a state of expanded consciousness. That state is always available to you. It's not something to achieve, it's something to allow. The universe is constantly trying to give you more life, more vitality, more experiences that make you feel truly alive. but it can only give you what you're willing to receive in consciousness. Listen carefully now, because this is where most people go wrong. They think they need to work harder, do more, achieve more to feel alive. But I tell you, feeling alive is your natural state. You don't need to earn it. You only need to remove the barriers you've placed in your consciousness. Think of your consciousness as an infinite ocean of possibilities. Right now, you're experiencing only a tiny drop of that ocean, not because the rest isn't available to you, but because you've limited yourself through your assumptions about what's possible. The universe is preparing to repay you in ways that will astonish you. But you must be ready to receive. This readiness isn't about external preparation. It's about expanding your consciousness to embrace more life, more possibilities, more of everything that makes you feel vibrantly alive. Most people live in a state of constant preparation, always getting ready for life, but never fully living it. They're waiting for the perfect moment, the right circumstances, the ideal conditions. But I tell you this, the perfect moment is now. The ideal condition is your current consciousness expanded to embrace more life. Consider how a flower blooms. It doesn't struggle or strain. It doesn't try to force its petals open. It simply allows its natural state of blossoming to unfold. Your consciousness works the same way. When you stop struggling and start allowing, when you cease trying to feel alive and simply allow yourself to be alive, everything changes. The universe operates through law, not luck. When you maintain a state of expanded consciousness, of genuine aliveness, that state must by law be reflected in your external world. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the operation of universal law. Most people don't realize that their current circumstances are simply their past assumptions made manifest. Whatever you're experiencing now is the result of the state you've been occupying in consciousness. Change the state and you change everything. But here's the crucial point. You can't fake this. You can't pretend to feel alive and expect the universe to respond. You must actually occupy the state of expanded consciousness of genuine aliveness. The secret to receiving unexpected blessings lies in understanding that the universe doesn't respond to your desires. It responds to your assumptions. When you assume a state of expanded consciousness, when you live from that state consistently, the universe must conform to match your assumption. Most people make the mistake of trying to change their circumstances while maintaining the same consciousness. They want different results, but continue operating from the same limited state. This is like planting apple seeds and expecting to grow oranges. Let me share something profound about the nature of consciousness. Your consciousness is creative. It's constantly creating your reality, whether you're aware of it or not. Every moment you're either creating from a state of expanded awareness or from a state of limitation. Think about the last time something amazing happened unexpectedly. In that moment, weren't you in a state of openness, of expanded possibilities? That state wasn't created by the circumstance. The circumstance was created by the state. The universe is waiting to shower you with experiences that will make your heart sing. But you must be vibrating at the frequency of those experiences. You must be living from the state that matches what you want to receive. Most people live in a state of emotional constriction, constantly bracing themselves against life. They've learned to expect limitations, to anticipate problems, to prepare for the worst. But I tell you this, that contracted state is creating more of the very things they're trying to avoid. Consider how different your life would be if you lived constantly from a state of expanded consciousness. If you moved through each day feeling fully alive, fully present, fully open to receiving, that state isn't something to achieve, it's something to allow. The universe operates with mathematical precision. Whatever state you occupy in consciousness must be reflected in your external world. This isn't theory, this is law. Most crucial understanding you must grasp is that your current state of consciousness is creating your future experiences. Every moment you spend feeling limited, constrained, or barely alive is setting the stage for more of the same. But every moment you spend in expanded consciousness is creating future moments of unexpected blessings. Think about this deeply. The universe isn't withholding anything from you. It's constantly offering you everything, but you can only receive what your consciousness is prepared to accept. If you're living in a state of emotional contraction, you're literally closing the door to countless blessings. Most people live as if life is happening to them, when in truth life is happening through them. Your consciousness is the lens through which all your experiences are filtered. Change the lens and you change everything you see and experience. Consider the difference between watching a sunset while feeling fully alive and watching the same sunset while feeling emotionally numb. The sunset hasn't changed, but your experience of it is completely different. This is how consciousness shapes reality. The universe is preparing to repay you with experiences that will transform your understanding of what's possible, but you must be ready. This readiness isn't about external preparation. It's about maintaining a state of expanded consciousness consistently. Most people can't sustain an expanded state because they're constantly reacting to external circumstances. They allow their state to be determined by what's happening around them, rather than allowing their state to determine what happens. Let me share something profound about the nature of reality. Everything you experience is a reflection of your consciousness. There is no such thing as an external event that isn't connected to your state of consciousness. Everything is yourself pushed out. When you understand this, you'll realize why some people seem to live charmed lives while others struggle constantly. It's not about luck or fate. It's about the state of consciousness they consistently occupy. The key to receiving unexpected blessings lies in maintaining an expanded state regardless of external circumstances. This doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means understanding that your consciousness creates reality. Think about a time when everything in your life seemed to flow effortlessly. In that state, you weren't doing anything different externally. You were being different internally. You were operating from a state of expanded consciousness. Most people spend their lives trying to arrange circumstances to feel better when they should be arranging their consciousness to create better circumstances. The sequence is crucial. First the state, then the manifestation. Your task is simple, though not always easy. You must maintain a state of expanded consciousness regardless of what your senses show you. You must feel fully alive even when circumstances suggest otherwise. You must love from the end, feeling what you want to experience before it manifests externally. The universe operates through immutable laws. Whatever state you consistently occupy in consciousness must be reflected in your external world. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the operation of law. You leave here tonight, remember this. The universe is not separate from you. It is you extended. Every blessing you receive, every unexpected gift, every moment of synchronicity is simply your consciousness made manifest. Don't wait for external circumstances to make you feel alive. Choose to feel alive now. Don't wait for success to feel successful. Occupy that state now. Don't wait for abundance to feel abundant. Live from that state now. The universe will repair you not based on what you do, but based on who you are being in consciousness. Be the person who lives fully, who embraces life completely, who expects miracles as naturally as breathing. Your role is not to make things happen. Your role is to assume the state that allows things to happen. Live from that state consistently and watch as the universe rearranges itself to match your assumption. Remember, the power that you seek is not outside you. It is your very consciousness. Use it wisely. Use it consistently. Use it with the understanding that every moment of expanded consciousness is creating future moments of unexpected blessing. Go forth now, not to achieve, but to be. Not to get, but to embody. Not to become, but to assume. For in this lies the secret of receiving everything you've ever desired and more than you could ever imagine. The universe is waiting to repay you in ways beyond your current comprehension, but you must be ready. You must be willing. You must be living in the state of consciousness that matches what you want to receive. That is your task. That is your opportunity. That is your destiny. The choice is yours. Choose wisely. Choose now. Choose to live from the state of consciousness that matches your highest vision. For in that choice lies everything you've ever wanted and more than you've ever dreamed possible.